everyone. As you can see, we're in my kitchen. Specifically, you're looking at my stove, my oven. Today's discussion is going to be kind of interesting. I don't know if I have a whole lot of a biblical foundation for it, other than maybe Proverbs 31 woman who takes care of her family and provides for what they need. But anyway, I am making a meal that I really enjoy. It's really healthy, and one thing that I've always heard, I've heard about people saying it in my family, I've heard it over the years, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So, and that's one thing I'm good at. Okay, I'm not good at a whole lot of things, but I can cook. Now, I've already cooked some chicken right here. Those are little chicken tenderloin, chicken breast, boneless, skinless pieces that I cooked up in just some olive oil. I pan cooked them in olive oil, little garlic powder, little onion powder, and some Mrs. Dash table blend because I'm cutting back on salt and so forth. So that's that right there. I'm keeping them covered so they'll stay hot. And then over here, I am sauteing some. This was from a frozen pack of onions and bell peppers. So I'm sauteing them. I'm sweating them down, to use some Food Network terminology. And this is the same pan that I cooked the chicken in. I like to cook my vegetables in the same pan because it gives it like a chicken stock kind of flavor if you cook it like that. So those are about ready to go. Now, all of these are fresh vegetables that I sliced myself. These are yellow squash and zucchini. And I think 2 of each that I've sliced up. I've seasoned them with, again, the Mrs. Dash table blend. I'll show you my spices over here. I put some parsley flakes, some Mrs. Dash salt-free table blend, some garlic powder, onion powder. I also, well, I'm out of it now, but I covered them in olive oil and also let them sit a little bit in some red wine vinegar. And then, well, it's an ingredient I already put back in the fridge, but I put some sprinkled Parmesan cheese on the top of the zucchini here, and then I used my hands. Of course, I washed my hands, but I used them to blend it all together. Now I'm going to kind of hit the pan with some of this vinegar. You can hear it sizzling because the vegetables are starting to get a little dry and mushy, which I don't want. So I'm hitting them with a little vinegar, kind of deglaze the pan a little bit. Now it is time to add the squash mixture. Squash and zucchini, I should say. Okay, now you may say, well, that is a lot of stuff for that little pan. Well, just remember, this is going to cook down, okay? Because squash and vegetables like that, they get smaller as they cook. Okay, so I'm kind of mixing in all those onions and bell peppers, getting all those ingredients in there. Okay. So it gets a little messy, but you just gotta have fun with it. Then we're going to take the squash and we're going to roll it around in the onion and the bell pepper mixture. That's my Julia Child. That's about as far as it goes. Okay, so again, this was seasoned, and I like to cut my squash in circles when I cook them, but you don't have to do that. I mean, you can put it in chunks. You can, I don't know why you'd want to do it, but you can certainly shred it. Like maybe you want to make, like, instead of having actual pasta, maybe you would like to do, you can do zucchini or squash pasta, like shave the zucchini or the squash really thin, then just boil it in water a little bit. And you can use that for your pasta instead of all the calories and carbohydrates that are in regular pasta. So you can see the steam. I love it. Yeah, I wish I had smell-o-vision. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision. You would be like sticking your face in that pan right at this moment. But again, this is a very healthy dinner. You saw the chicken breast, but it's very flavorful. And for me, I like to get my flavor not just in the actual food itself that I'm cooking, but I like to get the flavor out of the seasoning that I use. And also the fresh herbs or fresh vegetables that I use, I like to get it out of that too. Now I'm going to hit them with a little more of my red wine vinegar. Just kind of helps to deglaze everything a little bit. Soften it up a little bit. Give it some liquid to actually kind of cook it. Because I'm not trying to like fry these and have them be crunchy or anything like that. I'm actually wanting to have them just get soft. Oh, I wish you could smell this. So good. So typically what I do when I'm cooking this, I let this cook. Takes a little while because you want to get all the squash time to cook. You can already see that it's cooked down a little bit already. It's not at the brim of the pan like it was before. So I'm going to leave it on the higher temperature for another few minutes, and then once it's kind of cooked down a little more, reduce it to like a low, medium low, and put a lid on top of it, and then probably let it sit like that for another, maybe 10 minutes. And you will have a very delicious meal. So, I mean, Proverbs 31, it talks about a woman who takes care of her family, who rises up before they do, and she's, they're never in want. They always have what they need, and she clothes them, she feeds them, she cares for them, she takes care of people. So this is something, Christian ladies, you're aspiring to be more like the Proverbs 31 woman. Well, learn how to cook. And also, it's just a great skill to have, whether you get married or not. It's just a great skill to have, because you need to be able to cook for yourself. As a single person, you want to eat healthy. You don't want to have to eat out all the time. It's expensive. It's unhealthy. So, just keep that in mind. So again, that was zucchini, squash. See my seasonings over there. Onion powder in order. Onion powder, garlic powder, Mrs. Dash salt-free, table blend, and some parsley flakes, olive oil, and some red wine vinaigrette. Well, not a vinaigrette, red wine vinegar. I let that, and then also sprinkle Parmesan cheese. Then I let all that marinate for a couple minutes before I threw it in the pan. And then the chicken, I used the same seasonings as over here, minus the parsley. I just used the onion powder, garlic powder, and the table blend, and of course olive oil to grease the pan a little bit. And like I said, this doesn't take forever and ever. It's pretty simple. And, just think about it. Think about that Proverbs 31 woman. Think about being able, when you're married, to cook a healthy, nutritious, tasty meal for your husband and your family and your children. That's what I hope one day. So, make sure you cook the squash until it is soft in the middle, and then reduce to low and cover the pan. Alright. That's your video blog lesson for today. Learn how to cook. God bless.